It's Mark Marmer from Signature Electric. So we are down at 30 Adelaide, downtown Toronto. Here they provided 60 chargers. We have a mix of the Tesla chargers that you see behind us and some of the J1772 so that other people could charge as well. So this involved us bringing a number of feeds out from the electrical room, transformers and panels, and I'll show you a few of those as we go. The setup here is, if you can see it, this disconnect is a large feed. So there's a 100 amp feed, and that feed is shared between these 4 chargers. There's a cable in the charger that is allowing these to do power sharing. But this was a very handy arrangement. I actually have this at my house with a wire between them. I share a 50 amp circuit and the chargers basically talk to each other. In this case, we did it 100 amp feed, so it made it a bit more economical in the way that the chargers would put in. Today, there's a few cars plugged in. I think partly this has to do with this fact that a lot of people are not coming into work. Otherwise, this would be a pretty busy garage. So behind me, you can see a couple of transformers and panels. So this is very similar to what we do in the condos. You can see that what we tried to do is keep everything as neat as we possibly can. I've got the transformers up and off the floor, so that gives us floor space and it doesn't interfere. We do this quite regularly. A lot of times we don't have this kind of height to be able to enable that. In this case, you're just seeing 2 transformers. I think if I'm not mistaken, there's 6 setups like this down here, spread out throughout the garage to enable this charging. Because there's so many chargers, it's taken up an enormous amount of the garage. The disconnects that you saw ahead of the chargers are because once we reach above 60 amps, and these are at 100, they require a disconnect means nearby. So one disconnect shut off the power to the 4 chargers, and that was completely acceptable. So in addition to the Tesla charger that they installed, I said there were some J1772 or standard ones that were these Clipper Creek. These are not shared in the same way as the other ones, but we're still wired back to the panel. And we got kind of a very cool thing because we have a Mustang Mach-E plugged in here. So this is my first chance to actually see the Mach-E. In this case, there is 25 feet of cable. This is the way this came. This guy's unrolled what he needs and he's brought it over to his charging port. This is the reason that sometimes you hear me talking about public chargers needing cable management. When you're at home, you wrap your charger up. I wrap mine up neatly all the time. But this is more typical. This person, whoever it was, is finished at least. They put it back in the holster. It's got a bit of a twist in it at the bottom. When the next person pulls into this little tight space, are they going to drive over this cable or not? It's something to think about when we're doing public charging. We look at cable management as being an important piece. This is just an 8-foot cord. So these were strategically placed so that if the car pulled in here, this would be right by the charging port. And if we kept it up a little bit high, we didn't really need cable management because the cable was not hanging all over the place, and it was a good economical way to work this. The cables are still, even with the version 3 charger, still available in the shorter version and the longer version. Sometimes in the homes, we do get the shorter version. There's just only so many places to put the car. You can see how this was strategically placed. This Model 3 is plugged in. The cable is literally not even touching the ground. It's absolutely perfect. When this person's finished, they'll unplug this, plug it back in, and that cable will stay nice and clean. This is just a question of planning. Sometimes you don't think about these little things. We do, because we do a lot of it. So we're happy to bring this expertise to your project as well. If you're concerned that you need somebody who can do a fairly decent sized job for you, this is a perfect example of what it looks like. We're proud of the work that we do. We're proud of the way it looks, and we're proud to be able to come back even a few years later and see the excellent condition this is in. And we're happy to be connected with our partners. If you're looking for more content like this, you could look at our YouTube channel, youtube.com/signatureelectric, our website, signatureelectric.ca, or we're always happy even to hear from you by the phone, 416-490-8093. Wishing everybody a great time and an opportunity for you to have a piece of what's making the environment better for everybody.